Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you may be listening to us across the entire globe. It's Psychic Talk. Hey, welcome to the cafe. Grab your coffee or tea and join us. Come on in, pull up a chair and just hang out. Um, you can get your questions answered right away, no waiting. Just grab me a cup of coffee at psychic.cafe/coffee. You'll find that in the scroll below here, along with the phone number. And let me pop that up real quick for everybody that's watching on YouTube. Psychic.cafe/coffee. That's the secret way how you can jump the line and get to the top of the list, whether you're calling in or you have a question in chat. We are live streaming on YouTube and simulcasting on Blog Talk. That's right, worldwide on the network here. Let me give out the phone number so you can call in. So if you're listening out there on radio or watching us on YouTube, dial in 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. That lets us know you want to be live on air. Of course, we have like 50 caller lines. So if you just want to call in and listen to the show, maybe you don't have access to Wi-Fi right now, you can always dial into the show, 714-816-4628, and just listen. But if you want to be live on air with me, press 1 on your dial pad. That'll pop you up into the caller queue. Raise your hand next to your phone number so I know you want to be live on air with me. We already have some folks calling in. Yay. And sometimes on Mondays, it's kind of quiet because we are just, building up this part of the audience. We weren't 7 days a week, but now we're 7 days a week. So we either have one of our Psychic Talk daily shows, or one of our custom shows like the Angelic View yesterday. Maria and I had a lot of fun yesterday. It was great. We talked about her second edition now. I think it came out in 2016 originally. She's updated and revised and has a second edition of her book out, The Angel Practitioner's Handbook. And you can get it on Amazon right now. Yeah. So after the show, when you have a chance, go listen to the replay of yesterday's show. And we've got Compassionate Light on Fridays, and on Saturdays, the second and fourth Saturdays, we have Michelle's Mystic Corner as well. And Wisdom of the Soul, typically on Mondays, one of Janice's shows comes out. And we also have Magic Universe, which is on winter break right now. We're waiting for Sharona Rapsik to come back to the network. Yes, it's a whole network of shows. And you can join us as a guest co-host on the shows. You can also get your own custom show as well. And if you have any questions about that, that's what we're here for. We're here 7 days a week. And also on Sundays now, we have a weekly get-together, a meeting, and it's a Zoom meeting and a Q&A. And of course, we've been doing that, for a long time now, having workshops and stuff, and panel discussions, workshops, classes, Q&As, all usually on Sundays. All through 2023, we did that. And but it wasn't like every Sunday. Some months we had something every Sunday. Some months we had like maybe 2 of the Sundays. But now that we have our new platform, the Psychic Cafe, it's www.psychic.cafe. There's the URL for those of you watching on YouTube. www.psychic.cafe. It's free to join the new website, and so we figured we'll have those meetings so we can orient everybody to the new website, all the features, how to use everything, how to set up your profile. And we had a nice little one yesterday. um Let me pop that banner up for everybody watching on YouTube. Here it is. Live Zoom meeting and Q&A. Join us each Sunday for a live discussion and Q&A via Zoom. It's 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern US. And the only link you ever have to know is psychic.cafe/Zoom. That's right. I just set that up this morning. And each Zoom for each Sunday, I'll just swap it out after after we hold the meeting on Sunday. I'll swap out the link so that next week's Zoom link will be on this Psychic Cafe/Zoom link. So you only have to memorize this one or write it down. Write it down, psychic.cafe/Zoom. Also, if you're listening on radio, maybe you've called in, maybe you're just listening on one of the uh, radio players somewhere out there and you're listening live right now, you can join us in the YouTube and hang out with us on YouTube. And we have a URL for that as well. It's psychic.cafe/live. So just open a new tab in your browser, type in psychic.cafe/live. And each day that will take you to the show for that day. So you can pop in here and join us in the chat. There's no list, no need to ask. You can just type your question in the chat at any time. You can ask for a general message. If you have a specific question, type in the question, maybe 1 or 2 lines. Try to be concise. You can ask life questions, but you can also ask general questions about tarot, numerology, the law of attraction. You can ask about the guild itself. You can ask about our new community website, psychic.cafe. You can ask about certification. You can ask about becoming a professional psychic advisor or tarot reader, growing your business, and as I said earlier, becoming a host on the network. So there's actually 2 ways to become a host on the network. Really 3, actually. You can join as a member of the guild, and we'll do interviews with you, promote you and your business, talk about your journey becoming a psychic advisor or a tarot reader. And you can pop on shows sporadically whenever you like. Just pop on a show and be a guest co-host with us. You can also become a regular co-host where you'll pop on these psychic talk shows with me, which are typically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the first and third Saturdays and the second and fourth Sundays right now until Sharona's show comes back. So that's another way you can be a host, or you can start your own custom show. Michelle did that. So Michelle Metheny became one of our lifetime members and got certified as a reader. And she joins me on these daily psychic talk shows sporadically here and there. And she got her feet wet and decided to do her own show. And what that means is it's a specific time slot. Sorry, drinking too much coffee here. Getting caught in my throat. A specific day and time slot that your show airs, and you get to customize your title. Like hers is Mystic Corner, so Michelle's Mystic Corner. Catherine Hahn's is Compassionate Light. Maria Moss's is The Angelic View. You can have your own custom show and still pop in as a guest co-host on our daily psychic talk shows as well. So that's 3 different ways. And if you have questions about that and anything else, like what's the costs for custom shows, how do you become a regular Psychic Talk co-host, and also about joining our membership. And we'll actually be talking about that in a little bit. Talk about the sale we have going on our lifetime membership. We have a annual, and soon we're going to have not daily, a monthly subscription. I'm too stuck on the daily shows. We're going to have a monthly subscription membership as well. But right now, you can actually join one payment or two. Actually, I broke it up into two now as well to make it easier. And you can join for life and promote your business, your products and services, and yourself on Psychic Cafe and Psychic Talk as well. That's right. So, how's everybody doing? I see Dan is in the chat. Hi, Dan. Dan it just became a lifetime member of the Guild, and Dan is actually Michelle's husband, and he's one of our moderators in the chat. So, come pop in the chat. You can chat away with Dan. He's an intuitive and would love to, tell you all about the Guild and Psychic Talk because he's been around here for quite a while. And Joe just popped in. Hi, Joe. Hi, Joe. So, any of you watching on YouTube, if you have a question, just type it in, one or two sentences. If you have a specific question, if you just want something general, say, hey, can I get a general message from the universe? Dax, can you please pull some cards for me? Something along those lines. And we'll get to those questions in the order that they come in. Oh, and Heart Chakra Medium just popped in. Hi. Oh my gosh, we are getting a lot of regulars. It's really, really neat on the YouTube side of things. And then on Blog Talk, we got a couple of callers calling in. Once again, I'm happy to do the questions in chat. Maybe you can't call in right now. Maybe you're at work, you're listening on your earbuds, your boss is staring at you. You can't call into the show, but you can type your question in the chat on YouTube. Again, that's psychic.cafe/live. We'll bring you over. But I prefer actually chatting with you because I get to talk to you live on the switchboard here. So dial in 714-816-4628. Press 1 on your dial pad. That lets us know you want to be live on air. We'll be getting to those calls in just a second. I need to talk first about today. So today is Monday, March 4th, 2024. Yes, we are, pun intended, marching through 2024. It's already March. The entire date reduces to 6. That's that hearth and home energy. In numerology, it is the return to harmony and balance after the chaos of 5. 5 was yesterday. Powerful energy, could get a lot done, but it also can, spiral down into chaos really, really quickly. Also, the day is 4, which is structure. Okay. So this is a good day for establishing foundations and structure in anything, but also 4 is about home and buildings and kind of fits in really nice with the 6 energy. Maybe you're working on renovations. Maybe you are working in your garden. It's warming up in a lot of places. It certainly is here in Tucson. It's getting nice again, looking out the window here. And for the card of the day, I got the moon card. That's right. Oh, one of our favorites, right? Yeah, it has been popping up a lot the last couple of weeks. And I've talked a lot about how the moon card relates to dreams and often comes up, maybe you're having dreams, but we also discussed how you can use your dreams to get answers to the questions that you have, to get direction, to get suggestions, to clear up things. You can program your dreams as you're going to sleep at night. And I always tell everybody to put a pad and paper, pad of paper and a pen, next to your bed, on your dresser or on your nightstand or what have you. And just have it sitting there, and when you wake up in the morning, write down everything you can remember. And it may take a couple of weeks, or it may take a few days, or maybe you'll get it right away and remember it. Sometimes we don't remember our dreams right away. So I always say, as you're programming your dreams, this is when, you've shut off the lights and you're laying your head down on the pillow. You're kind of drifting a little bit. You're getting into what we call the alpha wave state. That's what we call it in hypnotherapy. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. Putting on my hypnotherapy hat, it's a really great time to get in connection with your subconscious mind. Also, when you first wake up in the morning, too. And that's why you should have that pad and paper there, because you can grab it and, don't even swing out of bed. Just reach over, start writing. And you can also program as you're going to sleep that I will remember my dreams, and then say what you want to find out. Say, I want to know whatever it is. And you'll be surprised. It may take a day or two. It may take a week or two, but you'll be surprised what comes through your dreams there. But also sometimes this card comes up when we're having anxiety or fear. Okay. And this is one of the typical interpretations of the card. And so fear sometimes, fear is important because it's a warning signal and it can help us out. But a lot of times it's the acronym FEAR, false evidence appearing real. So examine the fear, examine the anxiety. Is it valid? Or is it your imagination working overtime, perhaps? If you find out that it is a valid warning signal, follow that, right? But if it's unfounded, you basically have to tap into your own confidence and just move forward through the fear, through the anxiety. So that's the card of the day. I'm going to put that back in the deck, because sometimes the card of the day pops back up again. So we're going to do some shuffling here in the chat. Who else is coming in? Kay made it back in. Hi, Kay. Another one of our regulars. Yes. And then Nick's in here too. Nick is one of our lifetime members, and he was on the Zoom meeting yesterday, had a lot of interesting ideas and questions, and that's what it's all about. Okay, I'm going to shuffle here. We're going to take some phone calls and we're going to answer some questions in the chat. As always, if you have a question, any of our moderators are listed in blue. At least I think that's what everybody should be seeing. Hey, Dan and Joe and Nick and Kay and everybody, let me know in the chat. Is Dan's name highlighted like it is on my chat? It says Dan Metheny and it's in blue with a wrench next to it. That kind of shows that he's one of the moderators. Let me know if it shows up that way for you guys, or if it's just me because I'm on as an admin on the channel. I don't know. But hopefully it shows up that way for everybody. You can find our moderators by looking for the blue, right? And Nick says yes. Thanks, Nick. That helps me out. So most of our hosts are moderators, as well as some of our lifetime members. So you'll often see Michelle, Dan's wife, who's also a host and a lifetime member and a certified reader. And you'll see like Charlotte as well. And we have a few others. Just look for the blue, and you can ask them questions like how to get a reading, how to get jumped to the top of the caller queue with it's coming up here real soon on our coffee page. Grab us a cup of coffee, psychic.cafe/coffee. And you can go on there and there's buttons. It's our tip jar. You can send us $10, $15, $20. anything to help us keep the lights on. And if you're enjoying the shows, if you get a lot out of hanging out with us, send us a cup of coffee. But also, it's a way to jump to the top of the caller queue. Today's kind of quiet. Mondays are like that. Sometimes Tuesdays as well. But sometimes we have like anywhere from 5 to 10, 15, 20 questions in the chat. We've got, 10, 15 callers in the queue, and you can't be sure whether I'm going to be able to get to you or not. So what you do is you go to psychic.cafe/coffee, and in the chat, you say, hey, I just bought you a cup of coffee. And if you have a question in chat, I'll take it first. And also, if you're on the caller queue and you don't know where you are in the list, you can do the same thing. Go to psychic.cafe/coffee, grab me a cup of coffee, and then go into the chat on YouTube. Remember that psychic.cafe/live. We try to make these URLs really easy, right? So it's not much to memorize. It's always psychic.cafe/whatever it is, pretty much. Like my page is /Dax and Michelle's page is /Michelle. We try to make this easy, right? So /live to get to the YouTube live that we're on right now. And in the chat, say, hey, this is John, area code 619. I just bought you a cup of coffee. And somebody will confirm that, on our Square account. And what we'll do is we'll take your call first. We'll take your question first on the chat or your call on the caller lines. Also, we'll spend more time with you. I typically spend like double the time I normally do with callers and questions in chat. And we take your call or your question, we take it instantly. Like we just did the numerology of the day and the card of the day. We'll skip whatever we're doing. We'll go right to your phone call or right to your question in chat. No waiting. Spend more time with you. And that way you're assured that your question will get answered. And plus you're helping us out, keeping the lights on, right? Doing some shuffling. How is everybody today? Let me know in chat what all's going on. Heart Chakra Medium says, hello, Dan. And yes, Dan's in blue. And Dan says, I'm blue. There we go. Shuffling. I like to get a good shuffle going. Here we go. All righty. And let me go back to that meeting Q&A, our live discussion and Q&A banner here on YouTube. I'm going to pop that back up again. Again, it's psychic.cafe/Zoom. Write that down and you just type that in your browser every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 9 p.m. London. Psychic.cafe/Zoom. And now, what are these live discussions and Q&As for? Okay. It's for everything. It absolutely everything. Maybe you're in my course, Tarot by the Numbers, and maybe you're stuck on something or you have a question about something. You can pop in this Zoom meeting and ask live. That's what's great about it. It's live. Plus, I want to point out that we are now here on YouTube and on radio live every single day. You can ask these kinds of questions here too. If you're one of our lifetime members or you're a member on our new website, Psychic Cafe, maybe you are one of our students, or you're one of our certified members and you have a question about business, you can ask every single day here on the radio and on YouTube. But on Sunday, it's more casual, it's private. On those Zoom meetings, we can spend a lot more time. So just remember, every Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, that's 9 p.m. in the UK, psychic.cafe/Zoom. And you can ask about becoming a member of the guild. and how that helps your business. You can ask about getting certified, about becoming a professional tarot reader, a professional numerologist, psychic advisor. And we do certifications not just on tarot anymore. We do tarot and numerology and every other modality. We will do a certification and give you a certificate. And then how to use our new Psychic Cafe website as a home base. Maybe you have your own website out there, which is great, and you can link off to it. But it's great being on a website with more traffic, and we have the Psychic Talk network to promote the website and send traffic there. And all of us are putting articles and videos and pictures and all kinds of content on the site to draw people in, our potential clients. And that's why you would want to be on Psychic Cafe, and you can ask questions about doing that, about growing your business, best practices. You can ask questions about being a host on Psychic Talk and get all the details and everything on these Zoom meetings every Sunday. That's right. Okay, so let's see who's been waiting the longest. Oh, we lost our callers again. Boy, I don't know if they just aren't patient or if there's a problem with Blog Talk dropping people off. Now, that did happen to me today. I was dialing into Zoom and dialing into Blog Talk to make the bridge connection. That's how we do our phone lines through the Zoom, and then the Zoom gets broadcasted through the YouTube studio into YouTube. And it would not let I was putting in the proper codes and everything, and it was not letting me get onto Blog Talk. And I had to restart it a couple of times. In fact, I switched the order in which I was calling in and called Blog Talk first, and finally was able to get through. And I was able to get the connection then all set up. But it was giving me problems this morning. And now we lost our callers. So, hey, what that means for all you listening live out there is the phone lines are wide open. So you can call in right now and you'll be the first caller at 714-816-4628. That's 714-816-4628. Now, if you're in the chat on YouTube and you're worried because you can't call in, you don't have to call in. You can just put your question in the chat. Don't worry, I'm going to get to your question in chat. But if a lot of people are in India, we have people in Asia and other parts of the world, and they're unable to dial in. But if you're in North America, or if you're able to dial in, give us a call. And it's always down here in the scroll, folks. Call in 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. But meanwhile, I'm going to go back to the chat because we lost all of our callers. And I was just going to them. I see Anelia's popped in, Seashells. Michelle's back in here. Michelle popped in on the Zoom. It was nice to see you, Michelle. See you're doing okay. You're getting better slowly. Hopefully you'll be better by when's your next show? Next Saturday. I mean, it's coming up. It's like what, 5 days away? 4 days away, something like that. Warm salt water. Gargle with warm salt water a lot, and herbal teas. Michelle had some oral surgery last week. That scares the hell out of me. Yeah, hell out of me just even saying it, right? So if you have a question, just pop it in the chat. I'm going to scroll all the way to the top of the chat, and I'm going to go back down through the list and take your your questions in order. And then we'll check the phone lines in a little bit, see if people have called in. So Joe said, I think Joe was the first one. Joe said this guy called Puneet. It's like Puneet. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm going to say Puneet because I can say it quick. And wondering about his feelings. Okay. What is going on with him? All right. So right off the bat, we see that he has maybe too many irons in the fire here. He's feeling overburdened. That's the 10 of Wands energy. Um, Whatever it is he's doing, he's making progress towards his goal over here. But it's taking a while and he may be biting off more than he can chew. And then the moon card shows up, which was the card of the day. God, I love when that happens. You guys all saw me shuffling, right? I shuffled like crazy. And yet the card of the day popped up. I love that because it shows synchronicity. It's like the tarot, it's like the universe winking at us. I love when that happens. It's like, look, this is actually real. This is working, right? Um, it's our anecdotal evidence, but hey, I believe in experience. Otherwise, hey, I wouldn't be doing this, 3 or 4 decades later if I wasn't getting, um, if it wasn't working. It makes sense to me anyway. But so the moon card shows up. Same things apply that I was talking about, you know, at the beginning of the show for the card of the day. Things aren't entirely clear when this card shows up because it's moonlight, it's not sunlight. The moon is reflecting the sunlight. There's shadows and darkness. The moon could come out during the day, but most of the time we're thinking of it in the evening time or night, and there's shadows. And remember, I brought up fears and anxiety. So maybe that might be what's holding you back, Joe. Have you thought about that? You um or what was his name? Oh, Paneet. And she retracted her question, like her message got retracted, and I don't know why. Why did you retract your question? We're already into your reading, so I don't understand what some people do sometimes. Anyway, so either him or you know, what's the fears or anxieties that are holding you back? Okay. And then the other thing that came up is he's showing up as the Page of Pentacles. Look, he's got his focus on something else right now. It's not that I'm getting anything negative in the cards about how he feels about you, but it's like he might be distracted a little. Think of it that way. So there's still hope there. There's still hope there. Let me check here. And our caller's back. Let's go to the caller lines. Area code 951 has been waiting the longest. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? 951. Hello. I'm not hearing them. Are you there, 951? Hmm. Maybe there are issues going on with this. I'm not sure. I'm checking the phone lines. Everything looks like our connection is working. Let me check Zoom, guys. Sorry about this, especially if you're listening in archive on radio, because dead air is not a good thing. But let me check. No, the phone line's all connected still, according to this anyway. Okay. And but I am not hearing 951. Okay, I'm going to put you back on hold. Maybe they weren't ready, or maybe they had to step out of the room. So if you come back in and you hear your area code 951, that's letting you know to get ready because I'm going to come back to you. But meanwhile, I'm going to try 720. 720. Caller, are you there? Hmm. I'm not hearing them. There must be an audio problem. I, I do not know what's going on. Oh, wait, now I hear something. Are you there, 720?
Oh,
Hello?
hello?
Oh, there you are.
Oh,
Hi.
I didn't press one, so I didn't think you were going to pick me. But
Uh,
hi.
Nice to be chatting with you. What's your name? Where are you calling
Hello?
from?
I'm Randy from Colorado.
Hi, Randy. So we were worried that the phone lines, the audio wasn't working right because I wasn't hearing anything when I was bringing people on live. But I'm glad you came
Yeah.
through. Now we know it's working. What do you want to chat about, Randy?
Yeah. Um, do you give general readings?
We can do general,
I didn't really pick one, so I didn't know. I didn't really. I was just gonna listen first, so I don't even know
Oh,
what you're
okay. Well,
offering.
you don't have to ask a question if you don't want to. We can put you on hold
Okay.
and you can think of a question. That's fine if you'd like to. Um, when I'm drawing
Do you have a?
cards,
Do you do general readings, or you want more specific?
well, me personally, I like specific questions because it leads to other things. It's the way that I do my readings with a client, but that's usually when I'm spending, 20, 30, 40 minutes with somebody. Now, on the radio shows, I don't mind doing general, pull a card, see what comes up kind of thing. And I'm getting the death card. So it seems like you're in some kind of
Oh,
transition. So this is one door closes, another door opens for you. And then
okay.
I'm and
I
then
don't like that card.
and then I'm getting the Knight of Pentacles. Yes, actually the death card is a really good card. It means that you're able to move on to something new. And the Knight of Pentacles suggests slow, steady movement in the direction of a goal. So
Okay.
I don't so is that jogging anything with you? And then we can pull more
I
cards.
mean, I like my job that I'm at right now, but it just,
Good.
I sometimes it's a brand new business. So I just wondering, I hope it lasts.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really want to get a change if that's what you're
Right.
seeing. I
Well,
don't know.
don't forget.
But I don't
Don't
know if it's with
forget.
the job or,
Don't forget when the death card comes up and it says one door closes, another door opens. It could be in any area of your life. It doesn't have to be your job. It
right.
doesn't have to be career. Um, it could be a side thing that maybe you're meant to do. It could be relationships. It could be family. Whole lot of different things.
Hmm.
So let's see.
Okay.
Let me look at, because you brought up about the job and it's new. Let me take a look here, and I'm just gonna flat out ask, and it looks like you're gonna be able to stay in that job for a while. It looks really good.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
Also,
Good. That's
I'm
really
getting
good.
I'm getting the Three of Cups, and that always suggests, celebration. Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need a girls' night out. This card comes out up,
Yeah.
when it's like, okay, time to, get together with your friends, let your hair down, celebrate, and don't overthink things. That's the big part.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a big part. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's
That was
looking
a
really
good
good,
reading. I
Randy.
appreciate it.
Yeah. And I'll put
Okay.
you back
Thank
on
you.
hold. I'll put you back on hold so you can listen to the rest of the show. And we're going to go back to that area code 951 and see if they're ready. Area code 951. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Nathaniel from California.
Nathaniel? Is that you?
Yes.
How's it going?
Hello.
I'm talking to you, Nathaniel.
Hello. Yes. Yeah.
How's
How
it
the hell
going?
are
I
you,
asked.
buddy?
Good.
Yeah. Good.
What do you want to chat about? You called me.
You want to turn over a card or something? You see anything, or you need a question?
Well, what's your question? There's got to be something burning or you wouldn't have called in. What do you want to know about?
Well, I just kind of wanted to see if you saw something from spirit coming through, rather than me, saying something.
Well,
You don't
typically,
do that.
I'm not. I like I just said with the last caller. I don't mind doing that. I can pull
Uh,
some cards, but that's not what tarot is. And I just want to say it so that people understand that tarot is about answering questions. It's not really about bringing messages through, although we do it. I mean, I've been known to pull cards and things come through,
Well, do you see a job coming in for me?
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. But let me just finish and tell everybody that I mean, God, we've channeled things. We've had all kinds of stuff happen on these shows and everything like that. So I'm not, dismissing the whole concept, but because we have a lot of budding tarot readers listening and things like that, I like to get into these discussions where we talk about, so, what are we really doing here? And the way we do, our group or subgroup of tarot readers do things is more like life coaching and less like fortune telling, where we're going to read, quote unquote, your cards. And so, information is going to come from spirit or the universe or what have you, that's just my general outlook. My preference is always to, have a client on Zoom or in person and be able to spend 20, 30, 40 minutes with them, because we can ask questions, pull cards, ask questions, pull cards, ask questions, pull cards. And to me, that's the best way to use tarot. Now, I use numerology too. So what I do is when I have a client, I do their full numerology chart first, and I go over it with them when we get on our live call. And that really helps people out, because a lot of the information that they're either consciously or subconsciously wanting to know comes through the numerology. And then that kind of colors how they ask questions and what questions they ask. And then we start pulling cards. Sometimes I'll pull a 7-card spread just to get the ball rolling on things, without necessarily a, full on question, but we're going from questions. But as I tell everybody here on the shows, feel free to type in chat or call in and say, hey, just pull a card for me. We can do that as well. Now, Nathaniel was asking, you're asking about do you already have a job, something you've applied to, or are you just in general wanting to know if and when with the job thing? What's going on with that? Okay, I'm not hearing Nathaniel.
Yeah. Did you hear my question?
I did, and then I was asking you about it, about repeating it.
Yeah. Do you see a new job coming in for me?
Okay. Thanks for repeating that. I just wanted to make sure that I was looking at the right thing. Okay. And yes, it's really, really good. I've got a lot of yeses coming up here. And the best one is this, Ace of Pentacles. It's a new opportunity coming through. All the aces are new opportunities. And when it's Ace of Wands and Ace of Pentacles in particular, it's great for career, jobs, things like that. And I've see, I'm getting the 10 of Pentacles. That's really good for financial situation. All right. And then I got the 2 of Cups. I got the 4 of Swords. I got the 7 of Wands. So the only negative card, I wouldn't even call it negative, but the 7 of Wands is an odd card. And in my system, it's the only no showing up. All the other cards are yes, as far as a job coming through. Now, what's 7? 7 in numerology is the seeker, and it's research, and it's learning new things and so forth. Now, what's going on in the 7 of Wands itself? We've got a figure on top of a hill holding a wand. It's actually a staff, and six other staffs pushing up from below up towards the individual. It looks like some kind of a scuffle going on here. And, like sometimes this card comes up when people feel like they're being attacked from all sides. The main thing, though, is the figure has the high ground. We call that having the high ground. And typically, whoever has the high ground wins. All right. So this figure is on top of the hill and they are in a really good position. What this could be hinting at for you, Nathaniel, is that there may be a lot of competition, especially if you are applying for jobs in a specific area right now, or in a specific job type, company, group of companies, and so forth like that. So what else can we glean that's going to help you out? Because me telling you that the cards are pointing towards you getting a job, does that really help you? I always start off by answering the yes, no. Um, Unlike other readers, I don't poo-poo the idea and just say, let's rephrase that into a more empowering question. I just take everybody's question at face value. Will I get married? Am I going to get a job soon? Blah, blah, blah. I take it face value. I answer that question. And then we see if that brings up other questions or additional information in the cards that's actually going to help you do what you're wanting to do. You're wanting to get a job. Me telling you that the cards are kind of leaning that way doesn't really help at all, So let's go back to some of this stuff, like the Four of Swords. Okay, four is structure in numerology. The Four of Swords in particular, swords are thoughts and ideas. There's a lot of other cards, other four cards, other cards like the Hanged Man that are thinking outside the box cards. Even this Ace of Pentacles is a thinking outside the box card and getting out of your comfort zone. We'll talk about that in a second. But structure and foundation, what foundation, going back to the seven, the seeker, what have you done to set yourself up to find and get the right job? Okay. Also, the Four of Swords is often about the individual in the car, the figure is reclining. They are taking a break. They're recharging their batteries. But the big takeaway is they're thinking outside the box with those swords, thoughts and ideas. They're taking a big step back from the whole picture, right? And they're looking at the big picture. And they're thinking of other ways of going at the issue. So what's the issue? Okay, we're trying to get a job, right? Okay, so if you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. Okay, you need to do something different, is what this card is saying, in conjunction with the Ace of Pentacles. Well, why is that? Well, we're in our walled garden. It's nice and serene and clean and perfectly cut and everything's perfect and manicured, and that's our comfort zone. But our goal is at the top of that summit, outside of the one and only entrance out of this walled garden, and there's this path leading out, and beyond the wall, it's a desolate ground, think desert kind of thing, leading up to the mountain. You got to traverse that and go up the mountain to the goal. What's the goal? Getting the job. Okay. So what this card is saying, in addition to thinking outside the box, is you need to step outside of your comfort zone and try new and different things for getting a job. So basically, and this is going to help a lot of people out there listening, because we get these questions all the time. And more times than not, what's going on is people are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's why on nearly every show, that quote from Einstein comes up, the definition of insanity, because we're so stuck in our comfort zone and we're so used to things happening a certain way. I can only get a job through this avenue, whatever that is. Like, I've only ever gotten jobs by applying and searching on monster.com or some other website, or I've only found jobs by looking in the newspaper, or I've only found jobs on Craigslist, or I've only found jobs by word of mouth or something like that. Or I've always worked in this industry doing this type of job. And so I apply to those types of companies and nothing else. So what this is suggesting is in these cards is that you need to break out of that and you need to apply to maybe jobs with similar skill sets, but in different industries with different companies. Maybe you need to try a completely different avenue of applying for and getting a job. Like, you might find, maybe your industry intersects with an interest that could be found on something like meetup.com. Okay. And you start attending meetings about that thing. And then through meeting all these people and meeting other people through those people, a job presents itself. There's an example that, most of us would never think of. Okay. And we're lucky nowadays because we have all this stuff online. There's infinite ways, through LinkedIn. You can go on LinkedIn. You can go on, dozens and dozens and dozens of job sites. Maybe you have certain skills and abilities where you could go on Fiverr and just get your own gigs on the side, in the meantime. Maybe it's not about finding that next job. Maybe it's about taking the skills and abilities you already have and putting them out there for people to hire you to do the same kind of work per se, but not going to work for some company in a traditional job. Here, you're in this way, you're a freelancer. So, there's freelancer.com and Fiverr and, all these websites where you can go on and you can put your shingle out there. It's like, I do this or I do that, or I do, almost all of us have various skill sets that we can put ourselves out there and do similar work, but we're working for ourselves. And then we have full control over our time when we do things and all. So there's a whole bunch of suggestions, Nathaniel. Go run with that and see what happens. Let's go back over to the chat. Thanks for the call, Nathaniel. Appreciate that. We got to get going to our next questions and everything. And there's plenty of room on the phone line still, folks. 714-816-4628. That's 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. Let's see. I had stopped at Joe here, I believe. And then Kay came in, and Heart Chakra Medium, when she came in, said, yes, it's a sweet hangout place. Thanks. Thank you for having us. Yes. This is getting to be a really fun group of people, and we get to hang out every day here. Let's see. Seashells had a question, I think. Let's see. Hey, can I ask about new love to enter my life? Oh, okay. So let's take a look and see. Going to do a little shuffling here, I think, for this one. and we're just going to see what shows up. And typically on these types of questions, for those of you that are out there learning tarot and you like to hang out with us because you get tips and tricks and all kinds of stuff from watching Michelle do readings and Maria and Ellie and myself and everybody else on the network. You get ideas and learn things. What I typically do with these kinds of questions is I'm looking for someone to come in for the person. So I'm looking for court cards usually. And if I get court cards right away, they're about to meet people. If I get court cards a little ways down the line, that typically means that there's a little bit more time involved, and also that the individual may need to work on some things themselves. Okay, we are going to cut the deck here. All righty. Meanwhile, like I said, go ahead and put your question in the chat. I'm taking the questions in chat now. And give us a call, 714-816-4628. That's 714-816-4628. Remember to press 1 on your dial pad as soon as you get through. So I know you want to be live on air with us. Okay. I still think there was something going on with the audio on Blog Talk. It's having some problems. I don't know, Nathaniel hearing me or me hearing Nathaniel. Who else has come in? Autumn's come in. Dark's come in. Earth Angels, Light Activations. S. Kavimugul. Kavimugul? Cav? I'm S. Cav. I'm just going to call them Cav. It's easier to say. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat here. Anila came in earlier. You retracted a message. So did you have a question, Anila? If you've got one, pop it in. It's Aneela Ali. And I'm saying Anila Ali. I'm probably messing up your name. I apologize. So let's see what's going on here with seashells. Okay, so it's looking really, really good. First of all, I'm getting that you're in a good place in your life right now for this to happen, seashells. Before I pulled any cards, I shuffled, and when I cut to the heart of the matter, I got the 10 of Swords. This is the dawn coming up in the background here. A new day is dawning. You see the dark skies are turning gray, turning clear. They're being pushed away. And yeah, it's a little overkill with the 10 swords. Those are thoughts and ideas. Sometimes when there's that many swords, I say, are you overthinking this a little bit? Maybe. But the big takeaway is the 10 of swords, like the death card that I got earlier. It's one of those transition cards. One door closes, another door opens. And a big takeaway in relationships when you get this is that to move forward with someone new, if you still have any connection to previous relationships, any baggage you're carrying around, you need to get rid of that first. It has to be, dead and gone and away. So then what comes in? So the Star card comes in first, and that is a great card always to get in anything. But it's a card of hope. So there's hope. It's also card 17. 1 + 7 is 8. That's abundance in numerology. There are 8 stars on the card. Each card has 8 rays. It's all about abundance. And how do we get abundance? By staying hopeful. And what it does is it implies, like we often say with some of the other cards that come up from tarot, and it comes up a lot on these shows, it implies putting your attention on what you want to bring in instead of the lack or what you don't have. Because if we do that, if we keep focusing on past relationships or past jobs, or the lack of the job we're trying to get, or the lack of the person, meeting the person we want to meet, we just attract more of that in. The universe goes, oh, okay, Jane wants more of that. Or in this case, Seashell wants more of that. Yeah. So with the star card, with hope, hope in having hope, just like having gratitude. So sitting in a gratitude space, sitting in a space of hope presupposes that your attention is no longer on that, but rather on the future and what you want to bring in. Now, the Four of Cups shows up, yet another 4 card on this 4-day. Are you seeing the synchronicities? Are you getting it now? Yeah. And it's like, how does that work? It's like, I don't think anybody knows for sure how it works. It just works. See, that's the big thing. Everybody wants to explain things. And it's like, well, there's mystery around this. It's just coincidence, blah, blah, blah. Well, having done these shows for 14 years, and for those, and there are still people around that have been watching and listening to us for 14 years, it defies the laws of probability for this number of coincidences to occur. So then they slip from coincidence into what we call synchronicity, which was coined by Carl Jung, the famous psychologist. And that synchronicity plainly is a meaningful coincidence, that there's meaning there, that there's some kind of connection. Okay. And by us getting these continuous nonstop synchronicities, these shows are just like evidential proof. It's fantastic, and the synchronicities on these shows are endless. Often when I have a co-host, we're getting the exact same cards or cards that mean the same thing. We're getting the same messages. It defies the law of probability. It is like impossible, billions to one to get the same cards. And, on one day, maybe, but on every day and every time I have a co-host. And then even when I don't have co-hosts, the synchronicities, on a 4-day, we'll get all of these 4 cards and all these cards about structure and foundation, and it'll just keep going on and on and on. So back to see, that was a learning moment. When I go off on these tangents, it's a learning moment. Okay. And I apologize. There's a lot of people out there. It's like, you're not answering the question. They get all upset and stuff, and it's like, we're here for more than just this. Okay. We're here also to learn, I learn as much as everybody else does, but we're dropping, me and my co-hosts, and on the other shows, we're dropping knowledge bombs all the time. So that's why it's great to, listen through these shows. It's not just listening to a handful of people asking questions and people getting answers. It's also the experience of it and all the other information that comes through on these shows. And like right now, it's all impromptu. It's not, we've written out a class and we're teaching, these knowledge bombs just come on their own. And it seems like, you're not very happy with the choices that you're given, but there's this other opportunity that you are either ignoring or you haven't seen yet. Now, again, this is a similar thing going back to what I was talking about with the star card. Where's your attention? If your attention is on what you're not quite happy with, remember, cups are emotions. So if that's your emotions, you need to get back into the hope state. And see, even my computer did thumbs up and said, yes, Dax, yes. So you need to get back into that, and you got to look for this other option here. Otherwise, you just keep pulling more and more of what you're not happy about into the picture. And then we get the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, again, people would think, hey, that's odd to get in a romance question, right? But it really isn't, because everything is interconnected, and there's many layers of meaning. Just because you get a Pentacles card or a Wands card, it doesn't mean it's veering off into career or material or finances or jobs or anything like that. There's underlying things going on in every card and a spectrum of meaning. So 6 in numerology is success. So yes, seashells is, God, forget now. Am I saying the wrong name? It's seashells, right? Yeah, okay. Just double checking. So that's success. Okay. But there's an element of being careful here. Now, the figure in the card, probably a merchant, is handing out alms to the poor, but he's got this scales, and so he's evenly handing them out and carefully weighing out how much he's able to expend. And so you can and there's different ways that could relate to a relationship or somebody you're starting to date or something like that. Also, 6 is very balanced. And remember, it's a 6 date today, right? So that's return to harmony and balance after the chaos of 5. It's also hearth and home, relationships, and it's the nurturing number in numerology. So it's suggestive, especially what's going on in the card, suggestive of that nurturing, but being careful. Are you balanced when you get into dating somebody and then a relationship? It's kind of warning, don't be the only one carrying the relationship, doing all of the nurturing, paying for everything, every time you guys go out or what have you. So I got those few cards. The main card, is the star card, because that's a major arcana card. So the main thing here is, if you can get focused on the hope and take your focus off the lack, then you'll be able to move forward. Then there's the warnings of the 6 of Pentacles, but also the indication of success being 6. And then someone shows up, the King of Swords. So this is what I was talking about earlier, about when I get these kind of questions, I'm looking for the court cards. And so I'm laying cards out until I find a court card, and then I stop. And if I lay out like 10, 12, 13 cards and don't get a court card, I stop because that means that, okay, you got a bunch of stuff to do before he or she is going to come in. So let's look at the cards that we've got and see what you need to work on, because 90% of finding people to date and finding the right people to date and having relationships, it all boils down to us more than the other person. We always put everything on the other person. It's like, well, I want them to be like this, and I want our relationships to be like this, and blah, blah, blah. What we actually should be doing is we should be becoming the type of person with the attributes that we want to attract in, and the type of relationship we want to attract in. It's more us than them. But this guy shows up, and he may be a contemporary, meaning the same age as you. He might be slightly chronologically older, or he might be the same age as you or younger, but have a very mature, older outlook on life. It's swords, so thoughts and ideas here. This guy's very rational and everything. I would not be surprised if he doesn't, or she. I always put that qualifier in. Just because it's a king, not a queen card, that doesn't mean the person coming in is necessarily male. Okay, just putting that caveat on there. regardless of gender, this person is this way. And I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't turn out that this person is an air sign, a Gemini, a Libra, an Aquarius. In fact, I'd almost lean into Libra because what was the card before that? The scales. Yes. So yeah, it looks like someone is headed your way, especially if you can get into a state of gratitude, into that state of hope from the star card, get rid of the baggage from previous relationships and so forth. That's what's going on. Oh, we got another caller here. Area code 801. Oh, that might be Charlotte. Is that Charlotte?
It's me, Charlotte.
Oh my gosh, you actually have your hand raised and
How?
everything. I'm excited.
Uh, I know. It's because I keep asking this question, but I asked at the wrong time.
Oh, you did?
And, well, not today, I didn't. But I always ask too close towards the end of the show or something. And,
get in early.
111. So, this
hey,
is
Charlotte.
going to be a good answer.
Charlotte, Charlotte,
what?
When you said that was right when I glanced at my computer and noticed it was 111. At the same time that you were saying it. Angel number 111. That is always a good sign.
Yeah. And, that has happened a lot when I've called you guys, and I haven't tried to do it on purpose. It's not like I don't if I call him now.
Well, yeah, but Charlotte,
but
Charlotte, even if you tried and I'm sorry, there's a delay, and there's a massive delay on, between YouTube and me and Blog Talk and the switchboard, so I don't mean to cut you off. It's just that when I start talking, you don't hear me talking for a couple of seconds. And so, then you go off into something else. So I have to kind of jump in there to get your attention. Well, what I wanted to say was that even if you timed it and called in, that doesn't mean I'm picking up your line right that minute anyway. So there's no way to really time that anyway. So it's all synchronicity.
Yeah.
Yep. So what?
So my question.
Yeah. What's your question?
Is, and we talked about this. I don't know, on Messenger or something, but I would love to know the difference between the star card and the sun card.
Oh, yeah.
So this is an educational question.
Wow.
I guess. Instead of just will my life ever get any better question? Because, I know the answer to that. It will get as better as I want it to get.
I remember you asked that in chat, but time got away from us, and I saw it in the chat. I think I even mentioned it on air, but I just couldn't get to the question. There was so much going on, and let me see if I can get these cards.
It was right at the very end.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. So, both of these cards have a similar feeling to them of hope and possibility. One of the differences for me, well, for one thing, look, the sun is daytime, the star is nighttime. Did you ever notice that? And
well, yes, except that the sun is a star, kind of.
Yeah, there's lots of differences. The sun, our sun, is a star, but when we think of star and stars in the night sky, it's suns that are hundreds of millions of light years away from here. So there's a distance thing going on. There's day and night going on. The star is hope towards an outcome, whereas the sun is yay, it's happening or already happened. So that's one of the biggest differences between the two. They're both very positive. So they come up in a reading, they're big fat yeses, But I would argue the sun card even more so because the star, like we just discussed with the last question, is presupposes a hopeful situation where there's the potential, but it's not realized yet, whereas in the sun card it is realized. Okay. Other things that are going on with these cards, well, the sun is card 19. There's the Roman numerals. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So the energy of the sun card is the 1 energy from numerology, whereas the star card is 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. That's another big difference. Is the star card is abundance ultimately, and the hope for abundance. And the sun card is 1, new beginnings and leadership and taking the reins and moving forward and that kind of a thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both super cool cards. I mean, they're just
yeah.
They are, and they were just similar enough that I'm like, because you've been so, when you start talking about a card, what it means and stuff, you do such a great job of explaining. And so I'm like, I'm just going to let the master handle it. I'm going to ask him, what the difference is. And I think you gave a really good explanation, because I have it. I mean, it's so clear in my head now. So, although, with my old age brain, my holy cheese brain,
well,
who knows how long it will stay, but it's just, I want to get those cards every time somebody pulls cards for me.
Well, we're talking about the difference between the two cards. Now, each card has a lot more to it, but you specifically asked about the difference between the two. So that's what I went with, just that part of the information. You can study these cards and see a lot more in it and get a lot more out of it than that. But, I just wanted to point out the differences a little bit.
No, that's great. And as I would love you to go on and tell us more of the differences, but I don't want to hog time on the show. So maybe that's something we can do on a Sunday afternoon or something.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of things to go into. One thing I love about the star card is what I mentioned when I got it for that last question about it, the 17 reducing to the 8. There's 8 stars. There's 8 rays coming out of the star. Now, if you look at the sun card, Charlotte, there's 2 different types of rays. There's the straight ray and there's the wavy rays.
Right. Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's 8 straight rays matching the star card, but there's an additional 11 wavy rays, which is the master number 11, the master illuminator number, which is perfect for the sun. Illumination. Yes. So uh,
Yeah.
there's more implied with that. Yeah. But yes, you're right. That's what those Zoom meetings are for. We can spend more time. But want I want people to get used to the fact that, we're here every day live. This is a great opportunity. If you're having a problem, it's not just about doing this show and answering people's life questions and things like that. This is also for all of our members, whether you're a free member of Psychic Cafe, or you're a member of the paid member of the Tarot Guild, or what have you. You can ask your questions here, and we can stop what we're doing. And I'm on a Zoom call through YouTube, Charlotte. So what that means is I can share my desktop at a moment's notice. And if someone has a question, so let's say someone has a question about navigating the new website, psychic.cafe, or how to do, this thing or that thing, or make this function, or, use that feature. I can share my desktop, share the website, and walk you right through it right here live on air. That's the beauty of us being here live, and the way that we do the live using Zoom, so that we can dial into Zoom and connect our radio switchboard, but also, it goes through to our YouTube, and we have all the capabilities that Zoom has, including, sharing screen and everything like that, that you might not have on a typical live, unless you have special software. So yeah,
Yeah.
I want people to
I
get.
think those Sunday things are great.
Yeah. So I figured, we'll do a weekly Zoom, and people, because we only get a few people at the time, even though we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of members, we only get a few people come in at a time, and you just come in when you have questions, and when you don't have questions, you don't have to come in. But it's a good thing to come and hang out at, because maybe you didn't know you had that question until someone else asked it and we answered it. Also, some of these are going to be workshops too. Like next Sunday, we're going to start off with Pamela's workshop on the Celtic cross, and then go into the Q&A. So we'll have a live Q&A and discussion.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll have an open discussion, open Q&A every Sunday, but sometimes we're also going to have a panel discussion beforehand. We're going to have a workshop on something, a little class or something. So yeah, it's great. But then we still have these shows 7 days a week, and especially on, the slower days like Mondays and Tuesdays, even Wednesday, Thursday. This is a great time if you have questions about getting certified, becoming a professional reader, becoming a professional psychic advisor. How do I do that? How do I grow my business? How do I get word out, get readings, get clients? And then specific questions about, like you did, about tarot. What's the difference between the sun card and the star card? I mean, it's just perfect. That's a perfect example of things that I would like to see us do more of on these shows, as well as the Zoom, but especially on these shows, than just life questions, which are perfectly fine. But I love when people come in with these questions like you did, but also questions, Charlotte, like, how does tarot work, and how does the universe work, and how does the law of attraction work, and what are the steps of manifestation, and how do what's hypnosis really, and how does that work, and how can I change my life using NLP and hypnosis, and what about EFT and energy healing and crystals and anything? It's like, bring on the other questions too, and the big questions. We can do a psychic spin. We can do a psychic spin, like if someone has a question about something that's going on in the news or current events, or something that's on everybody's mind. But thanks for the call, Charlotte. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with everything you just said, and especially like talking about what is tarot, and because I can speak for myself. I'm I have intentionally shied away from tarot because of my upbringing, for one. But I'm just like, oh, how do I know? But the more I do oracle cards and stuff, I know I'm like, it's just energy. It's the energy of the universe. I'm making myself open
Mm-hmm.
to the energy of the universe, and so now
Yeah.
I have a deck of cards, the Smith Waite Tarot Centennial Edition, that are
Yeah,
like
that's a good
playing
one.
card size. Have you seen that deck?
Yes, I was just saying that's a good one. That's the one in the tin.
No, this one just came in
Oh,
a
well,
cardboard.
the when the
It's
Senate
really like a deck of
when the Centennial
playing
Edition
cards,
came
and
out,
I
you could get it in a tin when it came out, and you still can on Amazon. You can get the Centennial Edition in a tin, which I always thought was really cool.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I was just looking for something uh more in my price range,
yeah,
you
that's
know.
fine.
So
Okay,
uh,
Charlotte, I got to get off here.
yeah,
We've got
I'm
other
gonna
people
quit
waiting.
talking. Yeah,
Great chatting with
thanks,
you.
Jack. Yeah.
Awesome sauce. Yes. And I don't know if I'd use the term energy. So Charlotte was saying, it's all energy. Well, it is. But in reality, what it is, it's all information. It's all consciousness. We're surrounded by consciousness containing all information that's ever been gleaned. And Carl Jung, going back to Carl Jung again, um, he talked about the archetypes, which we find in the tarot deck. And he turned, I think he coined the term too, collective unconscious. It's our species, collective unconscious, our consciousness, that's out there. And we can tap into that through our higher consciousness, through our subconscious mind. And by the way, that's how tarot works. Yes, yes. It's everything is hypnosis. I could sit down with you and chat, and we don't have time to do it right now, but we could go through everything, and I can show you how it all leads back to hypnosis, because everything is where we're putting our attention, and that's what hypnosis is. Hypnosis is focus. And I know we often think about altered state of consciousness, trance. Guess what? We're all in trance all the time, every day, all day. It's just different trances and where we're focused on. And we push out everything else and we focus on whatever we're focusing on. Watching the television show, driving down the highway, watching a movie, reading a book. It's all hypnosis. Well, so is tarot, because our mind thinks in pictures. And so the archetypes of the tarot, they spark something in our subconscious mind, and it allows us to connect and get information from the collective consciousness. He called it, I think, the collective unconscious, but it's not, it's kind of a misnomer because it's not unconscious, it's conscious. It's just we're not aware. And that's why it's unconscious. Or same thing with subconscious. The subconscious isn't sub or under anything, but we name it that way because we're not consciously aware of it. But that's only because we have a pinpoint amount of consciousness, of focus that we can put on anything at any one given point of time. So it's 7 plus or minus 2 bits of information, whereas all of our 5 senses are pulling in over 1 trillion bits second. or a minute. I think it's a second. Anyway, it's just insane. It's just insane. But hypnosis lets us focus in and get what we're looking for, and so does tarot. And that's how tarot works. Tarot works through our subconscious. Everything, everything we do is subconscious. You think that you're making decisions like, oh, I'm going to go down to the store. I'm going to go down to um, Starbucks on the way to work, and I'm going to get my caramel macchiato. It's habit. We're doing it totally unconsciously. Okay. So it's 1:30 already. We got to get out of here soon. But I'm gonna see if I can answer a couple more questions. Real quick, I'll let you guys know what's going on the network. First of all, once again, head over to psychic.cafe/coffee. Maybe you learned something on today's show. Today's show had a lot of knowledge bombs, or you got a great reading or something like that. Or you want to make sure that you're first on the next show. So, like if you're calling in and we don't get to your call, or if we didn't get to your question in chat, we'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry about it. We'll be back. Same bat time, same bat channel. Come earlier. But the secret way is you go over to psychic.cafe/coffee. You buy us a cup of coffee. And then when you come back in the chat tomorrow or call in tomorrow, we'll take your call or your question in chat first. And we'll take it right away. No waiting. You're absolutely ensured that we will answer your question. And I'll spend more time with you. Maybe even let you ask more than one question, which we don't normally do. Okay. So it's psychic.cafe/coffee. That's the secret. You go there and you grab us a cup of coffee. Let me pop that in chat for everybody that's in there. Psychic Cafe/coffee. Grab this URL here. And let me find the chat. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in the chat for everybody. That's the link, folks. Psychic.cafe/coffee. And if you're going to call in tomorrow's show, message me after the show. Say, hey, Dax, this is James, and I'm area code 724. And I just bought you a cup of coffee. I'm going to be on the phone line tomorrow. And then I'll look for your area code and bring you on first. Or if you're going to be in the chat, say, hey, this is Frank. I missed you today, but I bought you a cup of coffee and I'm going to be in the chat asking a question tomorrow. And then we'll take your question first. Like I said, we'll take it right away first, stop everything we're doing, take your call or your question in chat, and spend more time with you. That's right. Don't forget, every Sunday, the live Zoom, write this down to this URL, www.psychic.cafe/Zoom. It's good for all of our Sunday meetings and Q&As, and it's 1 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, and that would be 9 p.m. London, so 4 p.m. New York City, 1 p.m. Los Angeles time. So we open the Zoom way ahead of time. You can pop in at any time. So, don't necessarily show up, right at 1:00, if you're on West Coast, or 4:00 on the East Coast. You can come in, 10, 20, 15, 30 minutes earlier and chat with us and hang out, before we start the actual Q&A and meeting. And remember, this coming Sunday, it's the 10th, is even more reason to come super early, because then you can ask questions then before the workshop. You'll be able to ask after the workshop too, but we might be more limited on time. So if you come in a half an hour before the start of the meeting, we can answer some questions and chat with you and get you some information too. And then the workshop's going to start with Pamela. We got a handout for you, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm trying to think the URL for that, I can give this handout to some of you right now. Psychic.cafe / tell me a story. So it's tell me a story, but it's dashes between. Let me make sure this works. Make sure the PDF comes up. There it is. Okay. Dashes between the words. So I'm going to pop that in the chat right now for everybody. And then those of you listening in archive, just open a new tab in your browser, type in psychic.cafe / tell me a story. And that will take you to the PDF, and you can download the PDF prior to us doing the Celtic Cross workshop, Tell Me a Story, with the fabulous Pamela Steele, by the way. And it's got a great cheat sheet on here with a little blurb like for each card in the deck too for this exercise. It's really cool. Go check that out, folks. And I wanted to mention we are in our 20th year. For those that don't know, the Tarot Guild, we're going to have our 20th birthday, October 31st on Halloween. And we have the world's only tarot social media networking platform. Now, this banner was referring to thetarotguild.com, which you can still go to our old Ning site, which is a social networking platform. We're not using it anymore, though. We're using Psychic Cafe. So now it's not just tarot, it's the world's only psychic social media networking platform, basically Facebook for everything tarot, numerology, and psychics, all the psychic sciences there. And that's psychic.cafe, which you can join for free. Thetarotguild.com is going to be replaced with a brand new website this year for the 20th anniversary. And it's going to be it's not going to be a community site with messaging and instant messaging and status updates and blog posts and groups and all the stuff like you get on Facebook. That's all going to be on our Psychic Talk. For Psychic Talk and the Tarot Guild, our Psychic Cafe website. And this thetarotguild.com website will become a static website that's informational only about the guild. Just to give you guys a clue. And also our sale is still going on. You can get 50% off my readings. So save $50 instead of $99.99. It's $49.99 for a full private session with me. And that's a little bit down on the page. When you go to the sale page, scroll down. But towards the top, you'll see the lifetime membership sale. It's still going 75% off, going through March here. And instead of $297, it's one payment of $78, the number of cards in the deck, or two payments to $39. Right below that button, you can click that link and it'll charge you $39 now and $39 in a month. So it makes it, really easy for everybody to sign up for the lifetime membership before it goes away in April. It's going away. So you want to jump on this right now, psychic.cafe / sale. And then I'll be back tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. And then we'll have compassionate light healing and guidance on the 8th, followed by Mystic Corner. Michelle's Mystic Corner, second and fourth Saturdays. She will be back on the 9th. And then we will have another Psychic Talk show on that Sunday the 10th. And then right after the Psychic Talk show on the 10th, on Sunday, this coming Sunday, is when we'll have the workshop and the live Q&A, and you can all join us. Now, the following Sunday, I just wanted to mention the Angelic View will be back because Maria does the first and third Sundays. So that will be the 17th. The 17th. Wow, there are a lot of Sundays. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing 3 Psychic Talk shows because Maria is on the 3rd. We just had it yesterday, and the 17th upcoming. And then the 10th, 24th, and 31st, I'll be doing a regular daily show. So there you go. Okay. And there's no one on the phone line. So we can go back to the chat. We've got Ankita, Rosika, Arpitha, Autumn. Wow. Thanks everybody for joining us. Hey, while you're all here, could you all go and subscribe if you haven't already? Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and then you'll be notified whenever we upload new content. We have all kinds of free workshops and everything on the channel, but also these lives. You'll know when we're going on air. That's right. So go ahead and hit subscribe, hit like if you're liking us, like our videos. I'm going to scroll back up. We had Darsha, and I'm going to scroll all the way back up here and see whose question was next. I'm only going to be able to do maybe one or two more here. Oh, okay. Joe said, I just wanted to delete the text mentioning his name. God's daughter came in. I totally missed God's daughter. Hi. But that's why we have all of our, you'll see their names are highlighted in blue, and they have a wrench. Those are our Psychic Talk hosts, a lot of them, and our moderators. And y'all can chat with them in chat if I can't, see everything going on in chat. They always say hello to everybody for me and explain how to do the readings and stuff like that. SCAV had may I know about one, my academic progression this year / love life. There's certain guy rejected me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Thoughts and real intention. Okay, so that's multiple questions there. What you're gonna have to do is come back, SCAV, and ask those other questions tomorrow or the next day or something like that. Also, again, it's right down here. It'll scroll by in a minute. Psychic.cafe/coffee. You go over there, you buy me a cup of coffee, and then I will take multiple questions. But it's one question per person per day. And if we keep getting the same question over and over again, then they get banned. But we've never had to do that. However, your academic progression. So I see you working with other people in school on projects. That's what's coming up with the 3. You have a tendency to do things on your own. 9 of Pentacles. Maybe you need to get more connected. Let's see here. But things are going pretty good, because I got the 7 of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Success, and then the Hierophant, which is about higher education. I think it's looking really, really good. Now, if you have a specific question on that, ask that in the next day or two, and we'll take a look at that. Autumn's a student. Can I get 95% on my boards? There's something holding you back from that. My answer to everything is yes. Because we have free will and we have the power to manifest. So, you could manifest 95%. 1, 2. Trying to figure out what's going on here. Did I pull too many cards? I think. Okay. So yeah, the overarching thing is this Sun card, which we were just talking about. Hey, Charlotte, I shuffled, but I got your card. It popped up. You can't get a better card. And so it's looking really, really, really good. But when I ask and pull separate cards, yes or no, I'm getting one or two yes cards, around three no's. And what I think's going on with that is, like I said, my answer to everything is yes. Yes, you can get 95%. But this is suggesting that you have a lot more work to do. So if I had gotten three, well, not three, that's still a maybe, but if I had gotten like 4 or 5 yes cards, then it's a shoo-in. It's going to happen. If I had gotten 5 no cards, no, don't matter what you do, it's not happening. But I got maybe. Okay. So there's a the 5 of wands, just there's chaos going on there. It suggests competition, and is there a lot of competition? And how does that affect what's going on with you, with your boards, with your exams? And 5 is high energy, but it's a chaotic situation here. And then the devil card comes up. And in fact, this is the only major arcana besides that sun card. So the sun card, really positive. The devil card, this is what we're attached to. So there's something holding you back that you're attached to. Maybe it's the way you've done exams before, how you've prepared before, something to do with that. Maybe it's you're not even conscious of it. Maybe you had some trouble with the exams, especially if you're retaking the same exams. But even if you're not, just exams in general. If you've had any problems, subconsciously, it's making you think you can't get 95%, and that's what's holding you back. And you need to get rid of that. And then the Knight of Cups moves forward to the Ace of Swords. So the Knight of Cups is often a message coming in, and cups are emotions. So I'm feeling like you need to adopt that emotional feeling state of fulfillment with doing the exams in order for you to move forward. And he's moving forward towards the ace card. And then the ace card, it soars as thoughts and ideas. And this is a single thought or idea. This is like extreme focus too. So in order to move things around from a maybe to where you want it to be, yes, I'm going to get that 95%. A lot more focus, after letting go of what you're attached to, after letting go of any thoughts or ideas that are holding you back. And just getting, it's like a broken record. I tell you every day, focus on what you want to attract in. What does that look like? What's it going to look like when, pencils down, in your heart of hearts, you did a really great job and you're going to get at least 95%. What does that feel like? Okay. And I might be able to do one more. I don't know. I'm going to get out of here pretty soon. Light activations had some Earth and Angels. I'd love some general advice on how to get out of my living situation currently. So she's currently in this living situation. Well, first of all, the strength card, the 8 energy of abundance. We're in a world year of 8. So it's like we can be abundant and prosperous in any year, but it's like the wheels are greased for us if only we go and do it. If only you can make that living situation change, improve the current, or move somewhere else, or change it. Or I don't know exactly if you're asking about moving or what, but whatever, how you want it, you can do it. And really, this is the only card you need, is the strength card. It's like having that internal fortitude. Okay. And then just like I said, the last question, exact same thing. Stop focusing on the situation currently. Focus on exactly how you want it to be. But the hangman shows up. And so there's an implied delay. Okay. And then coupled with this card, it's saying you have to have the internal fortitude to hold on. Okay. Till you can make the change. And then this card is also doing double duty. Remember, this is one of those thinking outside the box cards that you have not looked at all the possibilities. Not even close. Not even close. And what the hangman has done is he or she has hung themselves upside down on purpose. It's like Odin in the Norse myth, hanging himself upside down from the Yggdrasil tree in order to receive the meaning of the runes. So you need some quiet space and you need to think outside the box and go down avenues that you haven't gone down before in order to extricate yourself from that situation or make it better or change it or what have you. In any of those things going on, the Five of Swords shows up to say, hey, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? So meanwhile, before you like physically change the situation, you can affect change within a situation by changing your outlook and your attitude and just being quiet sometimes, or telling people what they want to hear versus what you want them to hear. Sometimes you got to do things like that. Now then I get the Ten of Swords. I feel, this came up earlier. And again, it's another transition card. The dawn is coming up in the background there. A new day is dawning. And so it's showing that, hey, you've got hope. It's moving in the right direction. One door is closing and another door is opening on this situation. And lastly, I got the Ace of Wands. New opportunity coming through. Okay. And again, wands are fire energy, passion. Are you really focused on what you're passionate about? And I'm not necessarily talking about, career or anything like that, or schooling or any of the typical stuff. How about just being passionate about your living situation? And what would make you passionate about it? What does that look like? Create the 5 sensory visualization of what that looks like and draw it into your life. So there you go. There's the advice from the tarot on what to do. Earth Angels Light Activations. There's a name. That's what you can do to work on your living situation, and then come back and tell us what's going on and how that's moving forward, and then we can pull more cards and see what's coming up. Don't forget the card of the day, the moon card. Are you programming your dreams and asking questions and getting answers on what it is you need to do? Let's see. Krishna had an interesting question on the Page of Cups, the meaning of the Page of Cups. Well, cups is water and often indicates a person, especially a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. Ace, Ace of Cups, Ace of Cups. Remember that cups is emotion. So we're talking about often the Ace of Cups is some let's see. Oh, wait, you're talking about the ace. I'm thinking of the page. Oh, no, it was Page of Cups. See, I knew I was getting off on the wrong track there. Um, the Page of Cups is artistic, maybe a little flighty. pages tend to be younger or youthful or even children, depending on the question being asked and the situation when you're pulling the cards. Sometimes the Page of Cups comes up when you should be nurturing your inner child. Sometimes it's suggesting let your imagination lead the way. Tap into the realm of ideas and creativity, inspiration. Often it's a message coming through. Pages, as well as nights too, can be messages coming through. And then whatever suit it is, in this case, cup, so that's emotions, it would be a message coming through in that area, which could be, a message about interpersonal relationships, romance, somebody messaging you, somebody calling you up, somebody sending you a message on Instagram, I don't know, or just something about that kind of coming through. Sometimes this card comes up saying, hey, some kind of sweet romantic gesture would go a really long way right now. When was the last time you brought them flowers for no reason at all? Sometimes the Page of Cups suggests we need to be more empathic and empathetic towards other people. Tap into your empathy. Tune into other people's feelings, not just your own. Walk a mile in someone else's moccasins, like they used to say. Try to understand where other people are coming from. Sometimes, because pages tend to be when things are newer, it can kind of hint towards making a move and taking some emotional risk. So there you go. I hope that helped you out. That was, who was that? That was Prishna wanting to know about the Page of Cups. Boy, was today a bunch of those kind of questions, between Charlotte and Prishna and all the other stuff that came up today. This has been fantastic. But hey, I got to get out of here. We're almost out of time on the counter. So I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do this all over again. Remember, if I didn't get to your call, if I didn't get to your question in chat, you can call in tomorrow. You can go to psychic.cafe/live and join us in chat tomorrow. And if you go to psychic.cafe/coffee and buy me a cup of coffee and let me know, guess what? You're going to be first tomorrow. And I'll spend more time with you. And I'll take your question and or call right away. No waiting at all. So that's the way you do it. Psychic.cafe/coffee. See you all tomorrow.
Seconds